Hello Internet, welcome to an update video for the channel. I thought this time I would actually record something. This way we're not just staring at the unicorn holding the sword, which is, I have quite a few videos on my channel at this point that are just that image. So I thought we would record the browser. So first, a little bit of a channel update, and then after that we're going to talk about just kind of analytics over the last year and how my channel has developed over the last year. But the first part is what I think most of you are going to want to know about. So, I've made some posts about just stuff going on in my life, the increasing amount of stress. We've talked about it in a lot of my series. And things have been not very good for me the last, so we'll call it really since December. I bounced back pretty okay in January and part of February, but the last really 5 months have just been kind of varying levels of unpleasant. And it's stuff that you deal with. I'm someone, if you watch the channel for any length of time, I'm struggle a lot with depression. I have PTSD that occasionally really becomes paranoia and agoraphobia and some of that stuff. And then with, coronavirus and family issues, and then some unfortunate appointments, and in December I relapsed with one of my addictions, and it's like just been really not a great time for me. And at first, so I do YouTube. Most days I wake up and I record minimally like an hour and a half of YouTube stuff, and then on a day when I'm really into it, a lot of days, Tuesdays are usually the big days for me. I will record for 6 hours and get a lot of footage done. So it's a big part of my life, and I really enjoy doing YouTube, and I enjoy being able to play games and kind of guilt-free, because a lot of times when I play games in my free time I feel like I should be doing something more constructive. But with YouTube, it is somewhat constructive to record videos. It's building a channel. It's building, a lot of people would call it a brand, but I don't usually think that way. It can also be a little stressful once you start uploading a series and you have to maintain a certain schedule. And, I've been pushing to do more and more. I'm someone who's not content with just doing what he's been doing. For a period of time on my channel, it was just every other day it was Isaac. Every day it wasn't Isaac, it was Hitman. And then we had an Cataclysm tutorial video every day. And that felt like a rut. And so I started pushing to do more stuff. Now we're playing Space Empires. We're playing Endless Sky. I was recording The Escaper. I've been recording a lot of stuff. And with people being stuck inside with coronavirus, it just made sense to me that, like, hey, you just produce more content. People are stuck at home. If they want to be able to watch your videos, things like that, you should be putting up a lot. And what I'm finding is that more and more my videos my depression and stuff is showing through. A couple weeks ago, I got some comments that were like, man, you whine a lot and you kind of bitch a lot, and I don't like it. And at first I was just like, those people, what a rude thing to say. Why would you think that that's an okay thing to say? And then it started to shift with more people saying like, hey, you seem like you're not having a good time. Hey, you seem like you're struggling a lot. And then today I got a comment. Someone said something like, it's starting to affect your content. Like, hey, your mental health is affecting your content. And again, the knee-jerk reaction is very defensive. My instinct is to be like, yeah, no, of course it's affecting my content. It affects every aspect of my life, and it's killing me slowly over time. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, yeah, it is negatively impacting the content. There are a lot of videos lately where, honestly, I just try to erase them from existence. Like the most recent Endless Sky video is just going to get deleted because it was just me rambling about my mental health for longer than I'd like to admit. And we've had a lot of Isaac episodes that have just been of deteriorating quality over the last, week or so that I've been recording. And I don't want that to be my content. I don't want to be known for that, as much as I try to play it off. Like when someone early on was like, man, you complain all the time, I was like, yeah, that's my brand. I just kind of make a joke about it and whatever, but I really don't want that to be the content. And how do I fix that? Well, fixing my mental health would be a good start to that, but that's not something that's really feasible. I'm in therapy, but therapy is shut down because of coronavirus, so we're on very short phone therapy at the moment. That's not really what I need. I need more intensive therapy than that, and I'm sure if I pushed, they would probably expand that for me, but I know they're scrambling and they have a lot of clients, so it's like 30 minutes is kind of what they've set forth. So therapy is, the go-to for me. My medication, I'm properly medicated, although there have been some issues with my prescribing doctor. I haven't been able to contact. There's a third medication I'm supposed to be taking, which they screwed up again. We talked about that at length in my Apartment Rat series when they had discharged me automatically, not realizing that I still needed to go through them for medication. That was a very stressful time. And something similar just happened. I met with my psych like 3 weeks ago, and they were supposed to refill my prescription. And then when I got it, it was listed as 2019, so I can't fill the prescription. And they don't actually let you contact your doctor directly. You have to go through their nursing department because a lot of people will make requests for additional medications, and they just never have gotten back to me. And it's like, yeah, medication, therapy, those are good things, but they're not really working out at the moment, and there's really no cure for what I have. It's something I'm going to deal with for the rest of my life. There are going to be patches in my YouTube career where I'm going to need to distance myself a little bit and just take time and relax and try to focus on being better than I am. Not cured or anything, but better. Instead of stressing yourself out further by kind of putting all these things together and then not being able to keep a schedule or having that hanging over you like, oh, today I have to record because I'm out of footage or whatever. And so what does this mean? Oh, should have said this at the top of the episode because a lot of people will have checked out by now. Basically, I'm going to be backing off my schedule on YouTube. I'm going to put up the content that I've already generated. So we'll talk about the series individually in a moment. So what I'm thinking right now is that I'm going to stop everything and focus on my Cataclysm tutorial series. That's 1 episode a day. Pretty minimal impact. I can make them short episodes if I want to. It doesn't need to be a real stressful thing. Pretty easy to put out one series, no problem, in a week. And we're going to be doing that. Everything else is going to be going on hiatus for an undetermined period of time. Actually, no, because the Experimental Cataclysm series, someone told me today that there's movement on the 0.E release. So if we get that release and they start releasing new content, we'll continue doing our bi-weekly episode where we talk about developments to the game. That has been on hiatus because they're moving towards a stable release. Once that's made, there will be new content flowing again. There will be things for us to talk about. And again, that's a bi-weekly series, so that's pretty low impact on my schedule. So what are we backing off on? Well, okay, Isaac, for one. We've been playing Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. I've been putting those episodes out on a every other day schedule at 11 a.m. And I'm just going to be stopping that series temporarily. I do plan to go back to Isaac. There's a DLC coming, presumably this year. I would like to put in some more work, and get to know the game a little bit better so that when the DLC comes, I can be covering that because I'm sure that will generate a lot of interest in the YouTube community, and hopefully, that would get me a little traction because I haven't been truly excelling on YouTube, and I would like to take every advantage available to me, and that includes playing games shortly after their release. So I will be returning to Isaac, but that is by far the most unpleasant series that I have on the channel. The commentary often turns into, I don't really agree with a lot of the game decisions, and I don't really like this item, and why is this even in the game, and it just frustrates me, and then I'm mad because I don't even play very well. I'm not very good at it, so I'm frustrated with myself, and the game constantly ups its difficulty instead of letting you kind of get used to the way things are. It's always unlocking new, harder bosses. We just unlocked the portals recently, which is a point of frustration. So, I want to continue playing Isaac, but that's definitely a series that could do with a break. So we're going to be breaking on Isaac. I have 3 or 4 episodes yet, so they will be going up over the next week or so. And then when we're out, and we're going to take a break from that series. Hitman Hitman is in the other 11 a.m. slot, so every other day when Isaac is not on, there's a Hitman video that goes up. I'm going to be stepping away from that as well. I do have, I think, probably 10 episodes of that have already been taken care of, so that will be continuing to appear on the channel for at least another week or two, depending on whether I shift those to daily or not. I really haven't given that much thought. But we're not going to be recording anymore for at least, I want to make this for a week or two. I would like to just take some time, sit back, maybe watch some TV, write a book or something, write a novel, and just pour my energy into something like that, where it's kind of constructive, but it's also, an outlet for me. So probably will be doing that, which then might make some kind of appearance on the channel. I haven't really decided. I'd probably, if I can actually finish a novel and be proud of it, I would push it to Amazon as an ebook, and then we might do some audiobook content stuff for YouTube. I'm not really sure where I landed on that. Plus, with licensing through Amazon, I'm not sure what sort of rights that they take when they publish your book. They may have some kind of audiobook rights, so that may not happen, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about. So what other series are on the channel? Space Empires. So we've already knocked out 9 of the Space Empire episodes. There are only 16 in that series. I've already recorded that entire series, so those will continue to completion at episode, I believe, 16. So that's no worries there. That will continue going up, although not many people are watching it anyway. There's maybe 2 people that are actually watching that series. We have the Endless Sky series. We're on episode 3, went up today. And these no views, by the way. This is a lie. There have been views. It's just YouTube doesn't update the way it should. It doesn't update frequently. So so there have been views. Endless Sky, we're on episode 3. I believe I've recorded up to episode 8 or 9. So those will go up for several more days as well. What else is on the channel? Did I upload The Escaper yet? So I recorded some of The Escaper. It's a first-person puzzle escape room kind of game. Looked pretty interesting. Had a lot of fun playing that. If I do record anything in the coming weeks other than Cataclysm, it would be that. So I'm not sure when or if that will make an appearance on the channel. But yeah, that's a possibility. Is there any other series on the channel? I don't think so. I think that's everything. So that's on a series by series. That's what's going to be happening. Just a little hiatus. Not closing down the channel, not abandoning anything. Just I need some time to kind of get my head on right, deal with some stuff personally. And I know it's a bad time because I know, again, a lot of people are stuck at home for coronavirus, and I feel like it's a great time to be a content creator because people are consuming a lot of content. I think even in my Endless Sky video, I said something like, a lot of people are stuck at home. I kind of wish I was stuck at home. I wish I didn't have to go to work. That was my depression talking. Want to be real clear. Like, I'm real grateful that I have a job right now. I know a lot of people are really struggling and they don't know about money and all that. It's not that I'm not grateful that I have a job. That's the depression talking. It makes you want to recede into yourself and you just kind of want to isolate. So probably we'll get some grief for that when that video comes out, because people will be like, this idiot has a job and he can't even. Okay, don't see. And that's the depression too. My immediate thoughts go to like the worst possible situation. Anyway, we're gonna be taking a hiatus from everything but our Cataclysm tutorial series, again, just because it's the easiest series I record and I want to keep something up on the channel. But yeah, I need to take some time to be a better than I have been, and I'm not super thrilled about it, but I think it'll be ultimately the best thing for me. Like, my instinct is to keep recording and just keep creating content, but I think it is degrading the quality of the content, and I would like to not be this person in general, and taking time is the only thing I can really do to try and assess and make changes and whatnot. Now, that said, 716 videos on my channel. You should have plenty of stuff to watch. If you haven't watched everything I've ever created, now's a great time to do that. Maybe skip the Dead Rising series. That's pretty garbage. Like real hot garbage, which I consider taking down all the time, but they still exist on the channel. But hey, there's a lot of content out there to be consumed. Primarily it is Cataclysm content, but there's other stuff around that you can definitely get your eyes on if you have nothing else to do. Yeah, we reached 500 subscribers recently. That's pretty cool. I thought we would take just a little bit to talk about analytics because I meant to do this video back in February just to talk about the development of my channel and see kind of how things have been going. And I never did. And I thought, this is going to be a bummer episode where I talk about how I'm basically a failure as a human being and can't, function normally the way most adults, most of you do. So I thought instead at the end here we would take some time to talk about the actual growth of the channel and how I'm actually doing pretty well, at least compared to my initial estimates. So when I started this channel, I believe it was the end of February 2019, so it's been a little over a year. And prior to starting the channel, I contacted other YouTubers and was like, hey, I want to do YouTube. I kind of want to set up a business. Can we talk about your business so I can understand kind of how money comes through YouTube and how to set up? Is it better to be an LLC? Is it better to be a sole proprietorship? And basically everyone that got back to me said, hey man, don't do YouTube. Like YouTube, there's no money in it. You will never succeed. There's too much competition. If you want to succeed, go to Twitch. Twitch is a lot more financially rewarding than YouTube is. And I was like really depressed that all these people had come back. In fact, there was a woman I spoke to who came back and said, look, I've been doing this for 4 years. My average videos, I don't think I've ever gotten over 25 views on a video. And I was like, man, that's real rough. Is it really that bad here? I never thought like this person just was outright telling me, don't do it. It's not worth your time. And that they had been doing it for years and they had never gotten over 25 views on anything. And I was like, God, I hope it's not like that. And then I went and watched her content, and it was not good content. It was a lot of silence, and she seemed to be a man hater, like not to be stereotyping or anything. But she said a lot of really negative things about men in every single episode that I watched. And I was like, man, I know more women watch YouTube than men, but you're alienating a huge portion of people, and you're playing game content, which is primarily male viewership, and here you are talking about how terrible they are in every episode. It's like, I could do better than this. And so I looked around a lot of YouTubers and was mostly discouraged by their advice. And I've already surpassed a lot of those people that I had contacted, because I didn't contact the big, I'm not going to go call up Markiplier and say, hey man, help me out, because he's got 50 billion people watching his stuff. He's obviously not going to take the time. So I mostly contacted people who were around my current size or smaller. And many of them said, I've been doing it 4, 5, 8 years, and I haven't really seen any progress. So I have made progress in the last year. If we go and we view things by the lifetime, you'll see in the beginning, here's a graph. So this is just showing how many views that I've gotten over the course of the last year. And you can see, in the early days, 0, back in, looks like February 17th, I started my channel, and I started uploading some videos. Apparently not until around March is where I really started uploading. I think February was my Dead Rising series. Literally got 0, 3, 4 views per day. Pretty slow going. And then, I started releasing Cataclysm stuff. I started doing a little bit better. And then you'll see this enormous peak here in June. This is when I uploaded my Apartment Rat series, which got a lot of traction because I was talking very openly about my mental health. And I think people really responded to that. At the same time, if we go to watch time instead, you'll see the spike exists on all of our metrics, because that was the really big day for me. Someone posted in the Discord my prison escape series, and someone picked up my Apartment Rat series, and they got a lot of traction. And I went to work one day, and I had, I think, 20 subscribers, and I went to worked for like 3.5 hours. It was a short day for me. I work part-time, a couple hours, 7 days a week, 3 to 6-ish hours, 7 days a week. And I went to work, came home like 3.5 hours later, and I had gone from like 20 subscribers to like 250 which is not like a huge number by any, stretch of the imagination. But for me, it was like incredible to see that sudden flip of no one, no one, no one, no one, 250 people. And the watch time jumped as well. I don't remember how much. We went from so the days prior, we were getting 4, 5, 6 hours a day. People were watching my videos. Then on the peak here, we had 101 hours watched in one day. That means for every hour that passed, there were like 5 hours of content being watched on my channel. And that is incredible to me. In fact, it remains the highest peak that I've had in the last year. And that's when that hit of dopamine, that like, oh my God, people actually give a crap about what I'm doing. That was really kind of staggering to me. And I was motivated after that. And that's around the time when I started really working on getting better thumbnails, kind of sourcing, Creative Commons imagery, music for the videos, putting effort into the thumbnails. Because my first thumbnails, if we can pull one up here, you'll see in the bottom left here, it's just a black screen with text and the biohazard symbol from the Cataclysm discourse, the forum. And then as we progress, we get into the Apartment Rat series, and I was actually sourcing images to put on the thumbnails. They started to look a lot nicer, adding text in, using non-default fonts, like all this little stuff that you would think doesn't really matter, but actually matters quite a lot. So I started putting more effort into thumbnails. I started adding credit screens. I figured out how to do the end cards. Like if you watch my content, you're familiar with the thing that pops up at the end that says, hey, watch this other couple videos. Learning how to do that, learning how to source music, all that stuff for free online was like a real learning process for me. Learning how to edit properly, learning how to set my mic up, things like that. It was definitely a learning process. These first few months were really bad. A lot of that content is very bad because I was still learning how to do things. And then pretty much since then, it's been pretty steadily increasing. So I had that real big boost, which was just flooring to me, and then things dropped off pretty considerably, and for a while they trended down, and I remember that time where I was like, I'm like slowly losing interest. People were watching less and less of my content, and then after that, I've been more present on the Discord, trying to advertise my stuff on the Discord, on the forum, now and then, word of mouth a little bit. I started doing a little bit better with the experimental Cataclysm videos. Those are very popular. Doing tutorial content has really upped my viewership in the last few months. I started playing other games, putting out more videos per day. Back here, it was one video per day, if even that. And then we got up into like November, December last year. I was putting up 3, 4 videos a day, and people were really starting to watch my content. And it's just been a pretty slow uptrend since then. We're pretty stable here. Most days I do okay. I don't pay attention to views because views don't matter. A lot of people will click on your video, watch 8 seconds of it, and then stop watching. Mostly I focus on watch time, which, fun fact, the number of hours required to monetize on YouTube is 4,000 hours over the course of a year. And we got, over the course of the last year, about 7,000 hours. So that was a really big indicator to me that I was doing well, because it was double their metric within the span of my first year. When I was talking to people on YouTube prior to this, and they were like, it's never going to happen, you're never going to get enough watch time. They even said, like, subscribers are easy, you will accumulate subscribers over time, but the watch time is where people don't watch enough to make you monetize. So to double that number in the first year is pretty substantial, and again, I think that this will just get better over time. Subscribers, honestly, the subscriber growth has been about 1 person per day on average for the last 8 months. I had a real big spike back in June, like we talked about, but ever since then, it's been 1 person a day on average, sometimes 0, sometimes more than 1, but on average, it's about 1. Every now and then I lose a subscriber. I don't really know why, but it happens. What are you going to do? I don't know how to please people. If I did, I'd be better at YouTube. But it's been it's slowly increasing over time. We're up to 500 subscribers. I'd love to pad those numbers, get up to 1,000 this year, but with averaging 1 per day, it doesn't seem like we're going to make it unless I drastically change my content or something. If we go by the best videos on my channel. We have the Island Prison is definitely the one that people really gravitate towards. I don't understand why. I think it's a really terrible series. I feel like I didn't do very well, but we've gotten up to 2,200 views, which is really significant because, again, if you remember, I talked to people who do YouTube for years and they were like, I don't think I've ever gotten more than 20, 5, 30 views on a video. And I've gotten 2,000. As well as the Apartment Rat series. This one I understand a little bit better. This is where I really started to pick up my commentary to open up about my personal life. People really gravitated towards that. I got a lot of comments, a lot of positive stuff from that. So I totally get why this one's popular. Also, I've noticed some other third-party sites have picked up my videos over the course of the last year or so, where they're just aggregators, right? It's not like they're stealing my videos, but they embed them in a separate thing. It's like YouTube, but it's some other brand or some other country or whatever. And they basically say, hey, here are some YouTube videos, and they play them on their site, but you get the views and everything on your home YouTube page. So like I did notice when I search, Google for myself, I do find stuff on some of these other sites. So I think that really helps with discoverability as well. Obviously, the autoclave tutorial is a big one. The CBM rework and Cataclysm. Yeah, it's obvious my Cataclysm work is the best stuff I do. What really surprised me is how well Stone Shard did. Did not expect that, and it's quickly become top 10 videos on my channel, even though I basically complained the whole time and was really irritated by Stone Shard. Definitely considered running a full series after seeing the numbers and things those first few days. But yeah, I mean, I think I have done fine. I think that my content could be better. I think that there are a lot of days when I record when I maybe shouldn't have recorded, but I'm doing something right. 500 people have subscribed. People are watching me. If we go to last 7 days, how much did people watch me today? Not very much. 42 hours today people spent watching me. So a little over, right around an hour and a half to 2 hours every hour of the day. It's not a significant number, I'm sure, by YouTube standards. You'll see there is a curve to it. It does change from day to day. But, it means something that so many people are watching my stuff, I think. I don't know. I think I'm doing okay. I would like to be doing better, but I don't really know how to be better. So, and you'll see in the last 7 days, we actually got 2 subscribers per day on average, which is an uptrend. So, there are micro shifts that you can look at and say this means something or it doesn't mean something. Anyway, we should wrap this up. I just wanted to, it's been a year that I've been doing YouTube. We've made more progress than I expected. I thought it would be 3 to 5 years before we would be able to really grow the channel, before I would ever get any traction. And really, I saw some pretty significant movement in the first 3 months into doing it, and then it's just been a steady increase since then. I just want to say, thank you to all of you that watch my content. It really does mean a lot to me. I know I complain sometimes about the negative comments I get, but I think that that's pretty typical for YouTube. I think most people just don't voice it. But I don't have a lot going on in my life, so I usually talk about whatever's on my mind. I don't know. I think I'm doing okay. If you have suggestions for how I could be better, feel free to list them. But honestly, it's probably just going to come out like backhanded compliments is what I hear the most on YouTube. It's like, hey, I really like your content, but also you're a terrible, commentator. You suck. And it's like, well, just because you said, you like my content, and you kind of frame it like it's a constructive criticism. It's actually not. It's actually you being really unpleasant. So, I mean, if you have suggestions, I know people suggest games sometimes. I usually look them up. If somebody leaves me a comment and says, hey, I think you'd like this game or you should check out this game, I usually look it up. It's just most of the time they're not things that I'm interested in playing. And again, I'm doing this, at the moment, this is all for free. I don't get paid in any way for this. So it's mostly I pick things based on my own enjoyability, not just on whether I think people would watch them or because someone suggested them or whatever. I don't know, Internet. It's been a rough couple months. I'm hoping I bounce back. I'm hoping it'll be a week of me relaxing, and I'll just sit here and be like, man, I have so much free time, and I hate free time. So why don't we go back to YouTube? I hope that it's a short thing that doesn't become an issue. But yeah, hiatus for a week or two, and we'll reassess. And I'll keep you apprised. If I suddenly decide like YouTube is too much, then I'll make another video. Or if it's going to be a lengthier period of time, I'll make a video. But I don't expect it to be. I expect I'm going to take a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I imagine I'll be bored and ready to come back by the end of the week. But we'll see. Anyway, Jesus, 31 minutes. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all the people who take time to watch my content. And yeah, you check me out on Twitter. Probably will be posting on Twitter. I don't do a lot of Twitter stuff. Gonna try to back off of the Discord a little bit. I think it eats up a little too much of my time. So really, Twitter is the only place to reach out to me. Twitch is also not something I'm interested in right now. The concept of getting instant feedback for me when I'm in a depressed state is just sounds terrible. So won't be doing Twitch for the next couple weeks either, although I haven't been for like the last couple weeks either. Whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back with some kind of content in the future. I'll see you next time.